Public Allies was founded on the vision that the energy and idealism of young people will transform our communities, and that we bring together a very diverse group of young people from all backgrounds who are committed to making a difference in the community, and believe that by working together now, we can forge the relationships and the networks that eventually will lead this community. Currently, Public Allies is about 70% minority, about 40% college educated, a little over half women, and about 25% of the allies have children. So it's a very diverse group. It's a group that brings together law school graduates with former gang members, with college graduates, with people who are working at U-Haul or whatever. I mean, just as I said, there's so much talent out there, and one of the things that we really believe is we don't look at it through the traditional routes, because there's so many young people with talent, and they're not necessarily just coming out of college or coming from certain parts of the community, but they're coming from throughout the community.
And became involved with Public Allies 10 years ago when I met Vanessa Kirsch at a conference and learned about the organization. I was in college at the time and wanted to get involved in my community. Wasn't sure what path to take to do so. It seemed like for everything there was a path, but there wasn't one for someone who was passionate about public issues and wanted to actually address them on the street level. And so when I met her, it really struck me that this was exactly what I wanted to do. And she talked about how AmeriCorps had been created and Public Allies would be coming to other communities. And so with literally no experience, no networks of importance, but lots of energy and idealism, I started working to create Public Allies Milwaukee. And we launched our first class of allies in Milwaukee in 1994. The mission of Public Allies is to advance diverse young leaders to strengthen communities, nonprofits, and civic participation. We define leadership by our 5 core values and learning outcomes: collaboration, diversity, continuous learning, integrity, and asset-based community development. We believe that leaders practicing these values in public life will build stronger and healthier communities, a more vibrant and responsive nonprofit sector, and a highly engaged citizenry, the very ingredients for both renewing democracy and creating a more just society.
And today we will be talking about how Hitler controlled his youth and how it almost parallels an organization founded by Obama called Public Allies. He plans to use this nonprofit group as a model for a national service corps. Obama plans to herd, and has already started herding, American youth into government-funded re-education camps where they'll be brainwashed into thinking that America is a racist, oppressive place that needs social change. This organization has already deployed over 2,000 community organizers, like Obama, to advocate for justice and equality in many cities across the U.S.
Well, I do think that we often look for leadership in all the wrong places, and we don't look in the communities themselves. And I think that we have a core conviction at Public Allies that everyone leads, and it's based on the notion that leadership's an action everyone can do, not a position a few people can hold, that everyone can step up in some way to make a difference in their homes and their communities on the causes they care about. But often people think it's someone else who's going to come in, or they look outside. And I think that what we find is there's this tremendous untapped resource in all of our communities. I was a drug addict, a drug dealer. I got kicked out of 6th grade. I barely made it out of high school. I didn't go to college right after high school. And like Ellie, later in life I embraced being a nerd. That's why I did the bow tie. Had to embrace this new element like Ellie. I mean, we're connected in that way. But but from my own experience, I was saying to someone this morning, the inpatient and outpatient treatments I was in, the therapy I was in, the groups that I went to, the school counselor, all of them probably try and claim me as an outcome. But the reality is each of them was necessary, but none of them were sufficient. And it was the relationships that got me through. It wasn't any one of those that got me through. If I hadn't, in my case, gone through an inpatient treatment center, I don't know that the rest of it would have been possible. But if it had ended there, there's no way I would have made it. And they were caring, respectful, supportive, and relevant relationships. They challenged and nurtured. They held me accountable when I needed it. And those relationships are what carried me through.
When I talk about everyone leads, it doesn't mean everyone should be in charge at the same time. What it does mean is that leadership's a muscle. And like every other muscle, it gets stronger only with exercise and practice. what do leaders do? Leaders take responsibility. Leaders step up and say, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get this done. I'm willing to learn what I have to learn, work with whoever I have to work with, learn, that leaders own the result. They say, I'm going to make this happen. It's been our experience that there's incredible leadership potential throughout our communities. And whatever we're trying to solve in our communities, we have to believe in our own ability to step up, but we have to create as much opportunity for other leaders to emerge.
And a year ago about this time, I made a promise that if you all donated to Public Allies by the end of the year, I would do a snow angel in a swimming suit. Well, I fulfilled that promise. And this year I have a new promise.
Jump in the lake!
People have donated a lot of money, Paul.
It's freezing!
They're expecting you to jump, and your children will be disappointed if you don't.
Jump in the lake! Jump in the lake! Jump in the lake! Jump in the lake!
Four minutes.
Holy, holy, holy. This is insane!
Oh my God! I love Public Allies! Thank you to all our donors! I really don't want to do this. Are you ready?